Welcome to ThisDay for this Monday, July 6th. I'm Paul Ortiz, filling in for a vacationing Lisa Hart. It seemed like she was on vacation just a couple days ago, right? But today I'll be filling in for the next 28 minutes or so. Today in our program, we'll be bringing you Jeff Parker with his regular CEO report. We'll obviously be talking about some of the COVID numbers and, of course, some of the alarming COVID numbers that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So Jeff Parker will be joining us on our program today. Also, Lisa got a great chance to talk with Mike Gaskins. He's a director over there at Del Toro Water District, and he's going to tell us about some wonderful information about them keeping their water quality safe for our community. And if you've seen a couple of PSAs that we've done, we worked with them a couple weeks ago and put together a real nice PSA describing how their efforts are helping bring water quality and good water quality to Laguna Woods Village. And of course, we have a couple of meetings today. Third Maintenance and Construction, they're going to meet today at 1:30. That is a virtual meeting, so you need to log on with your device. Go to lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings, and that'll be a virtual meeting. Third Maintenance and Construction, that's going to be at 1:30 this afternoon. Let's give you some information regarding where you can get more information. This is our usual ochealthinfo.com, and that'll give you the numbers per city. Very interesting. They've redone the website about a week ago, and they've actually made it even better where you can actually see the cities by alphabetical order, and you'll see Laguna Woods too is ticked up just a little bit. CDC.gov will say staying safe with COVID-19. And of course, covid19.ca.gov, that has all of the California numbers and the governor's mandates and some reopening and closing, unfortunately, requests that he's had. And of course, you can always go to our website, lagunawoodsvillagealerts.com, and see all the local numbers and, of course, the real important information that we're trying to get out to the community. And then also, if you want to communicate with us, info@lagunawoodsvillage.com, a great tool to if you have any questions regarding COVID-19 or anything that's happening in our community, terrific email address to just send us a note, and we'll be sure and respond and get you that information. Well, let's go outside and take a look at our weather. It looks like it's going to be a warm, sunny day. So we want to urge you to be sure and wear sunblock and wear your mask if you're out walking today. You're looking at temperatures today well into the mid-80s, and then the rest of the week is going to be in the low 80s as well. You know, we did have a very high surf advisory over the weekend. That surf is still pretty big, and we still have that full moon that'll come out tonight about 9 o'clock, and warm temperatures. So be careful out there and wear your sunblock. But beautiful week for the rest of the week. We're going to see temperatures well into the 80s, and then a beautiful evening as well. Nice time to go for a walk around 5, 6 o'clock. And then let's take you to our sunrise and sunset. Look at that picture right there. It's beautiful. That was, let's see, it's going to be 5:47 this morning that we had our sunrise. And then we're looking at our sunset about 8:04 p.m. this evening. Wonderful time to get out there, go for a walk around 6 o'clock. Joel Goldstein brought us that wonderful picture again, a beautiful picture, nice little sailboat out there. If you have any pictures that you want to share with us, and maybe some things here in your community, or even something like that, something that you've experienced and somewhere you've traveled, send us an email at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com, and we'll be sure and give you some credit and include that with our program. Well, stay tuned. We're going to be talking with Jeff Parker with our Chief Executive Officer report right after this.
Over 25 years, we have worked hard to make Brilliant Smile the premier dental office in Laguna Woods. We take the extra time to understand our patients' special needs and always perform the highest quality dental work at affordable prices in a relaxing and friendly environment. There is no need to refer our patients to anybody else. We perform everything from cleaning all the way to the implant and sinus surgeries all under one roof. Stop in or call and experience the Brilliant Smile difference.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests, and it found out that yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection, and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mess. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
it was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
At Harvard Eye, we are so happy to be open again and to see all of you for your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in our lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence, and we're committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you.
It's important for you to get your financial house in order. And so it breaks my heart sometimes when I see widows that come in with $100,000, $200,000 to their name, and yet their broker has lost $200,000 or $300,000 in the market when they shouldn't even have been in the market. The most satisfying part that I find in working with retirees is when they come in on their annual reviews and the market has had a bad turn, and we know that we can sit down and look at them and say, you haven't lost any money.
Well, joining us now on the program is our CEO, Jeff Parker with VMS. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Great. How was your weekend?
It was great.
Yeah. Nice 4th of July, kind of quiet. I'm on the South Orange County side, and we were in the Laguna Niguel area, and it was actually pretty quiet. Everybody kind of stayed home, and I think, did what they should do and do their part right now.
I think that's what occurred. It was seemed like it was really quiet, and it was peaceful, and it was enjoyable if you spend time with your family.
Some fireworks here and there in some neighborhoods,
Exactly.
But people are just trying to entertain their kids and family as much as they can without getting caught up in a large group.
And the unique thing was Friday evening, where they had the flooding in Newport because of the full moon and that rare moon that they had, and the waves were up. So I'm glad people stayed home, because that was probably the safe thing to do.
Right, and yeah, they closed many of the beaches for the 4th of July, and then I saw a video where they actually had the helicopter telling people to leave the beaches, and it was a smart thing to do, not just because of COVID, but it always seems like whenever there's a holiday, whether it's Memorial Day or Labor Day or 4th of July, this giant swell comes out of nowhere, and it's 20 feet, and those poor lifeguards are out there rescuing people all day long.
All day long.
I think closing the beaches was a smart thing to do last week, and
especially if
safe
they
for
have
everyone.
rip tides or any kind
Absolutely.
of activity like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. You have some numbers you want to share? Some of these numbers are getting pretty high.
Yeah, unfortunately, throughout California, we're seeing a spike in numbers, but in Orange County especially, where we were, and I mentioned this in times I've talked to Lisa and you before, is that our numbers were like 150, 200. But in the last 2 weeks, we've seen 500 all the way up to 790. Yesterday was 663 cases. Those are extremely high volumes with regards to the people that are testing positive out there. And the sad thing is, and the important thing relative to my perception on this is, one, the deaths have gone up, number of people, unfortunately, that have passed away, and our hospitalization rate is going up. I heard this morning coming in, I haven't heard Orange County's numbers, but LA County is at their maximum now.
Wow.
So their ability to handle more cases is getting threatened. That's critical when you're talking about such a big county as Los Angeles. We have great facilities in Orange County, but we're getting closer and closer to maxing out on that side of the equation too. So we have 197 people in ICU right now, and over 624 people hospitalized. Again, the severity of this virus and the impact to a community like ours is something that we have to be very, very concerned about. Now, slowly, our numbers have gone up in the city of Laguna Woods too, which the village is part of. Now we're at 21. it seemed like just a few weeks ago we were talking about 8, 9.
Right.
and
I
10
remember
in
when
our
we
numbers.
crossed 10, and I went,
Right.
wow, now we have
So-
10.
So we've doubled now in that number in this very short period of time. So it's something that we need to be very concerned about. And as a result of that, we mentioned last week that we being the mutuals, United and Third, passed resolution to establish an emergency action with regards to requiring people to wear masks in the village when they're outside. And that went into place last week. We sent notices out, passing flyers out to every business and every individual coming in our gates. We have new signage out there. And this week will be the first week where we'll engage with people and make sure with our enforcement process that we are making sure people are wearing masks when they're going outside.
I know you got kind of a mixed bag of responses regarding that, but I would say majority of the people in our community understand how important it is to wear a mask. And
Yeah, I think that there are a few people that feel like their personal freedom is being trampled on, I guess is a way to say that. But again, the reason for wearing the mask, from the CDC down to the state health to the county health, is that you are helping to protect others when you're wearing the mask. And if we can keep that in mind when we think about wearing masks, it's not about you just personally, it's about protecting everybody else in the community and not wanting to see this spread go from 21 to a greater number.
Right. I was talking to my daughter about that the other day. She's 23, and I said, you know, what do you think of the mask thing? She said, well, and I didn't even think about it. She was like, remember when we first enacted the seatbelt law? Everybody went, oh no, we don't need the seatbelt law. You know, why are they trying to tell us how to live? And now it's just common sense. It's just like, yeah, that saves lives. And the mask is very similar to that. So hopefully people will start to kind of recognize it. And for us, at least the mask, hopefully, is a short-term, solution to spreading this disease.
Well, and we all want to get back open again, and that's the sad part about it. As we see these spikes, the state had to do what they did, which is, okay, we're going to close the restaurants down again. We're going to close activities where people were socializing. And of course, during the 4th of July, you saw pretty much all of the state of California from LA down to San Diego close their beaches so they wouldn't have the numbers.
Absolutely. And that was one of the lessons we've learned, right? Because that we opened up a little too soon, and especially bars and restaurants like that, people are going to start to spread the disease. And the interesting thing that we're starting to see is younger people are starting to really contact and get this disease, as well as the older generations.
Well, I think that's an important one, is that I think when you saw the reopening and the numbers, I think the 18 to 35-year-old group is probably one of the number one increases in pure numbers. It has two significant impacts from our perspective, and that is that when people from the village are going out and they're running into people like that, if they're not wearing masks and they're asymptomatic, they may look like they are fine, they may feel like they're fine, but they could be carriers of the virus, and so you're at risk. So knowing that you're at risk, and knowing that, and the fact, if you look at the state guidelines, they're telling everybody that's 65 and older should be staying at home. Almost the pure stay-at-home order. And we know that that's probably an impossibility, and you got to get out to get some things, and you want to get out to get some fresh air, but just wear your mask.
Absolutely, we want to encourage you all to wear your mask, and hopefully it's only for, even if it's for the next few months, it's important that we contain this disease and we all do our part. We have the Golden Rain Foundation meeting tomorrow, so that hopefully we'll have some information regarding obviously what's going on here in our community.
And they're going to be talking about the resolution as well. They are moving forward right now with their application process because they have some vacancies, so they want to get people, and we want to encourage people to take out applications and get their applications back in, because that's real important to get GRF back to their full numbers. So that's in process, and if you want to contact us, you can, and especially our corporate secretary has all the information with regards to the applications and what you need to get it back in.
And that email address, info@lagunawoodsvillage.com, even if you have an interest in possibly filling one of these roles here at the Golden Rain Foundation, send us an email via that, and the general manager's office will be glad to get you that information and fill out that application. And be sure and tune in tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. We will show the Golden Rain Foundation meeting live here on Village Television. Anything else you wanted to?
Well, I
part of
wanted to
this?
mention one thing that was real positive over the
There we
weekend.
go.
We had a little golf cart parade for the 4th of July. This is the first time that I'm aware of in the village that we put something that together. And part of it was just to celebrate our great Independence Day, but also to give people something to look at, see, and be a part of. We started what we thought would be just maybe 25 to 50 golf carts. We ended up having a parade of almost 100 golf carts, starting at Clubhouse 1 and Clubhouse 5, having a nice route. A lot of people out there cheering them on, social distancing and wearing their masks. That was the success on both sides. Having the parade, but seeing people out there, following our guidelines and wearing masks and being part of it, which was very, very positive. And the Orange County Register did a nice article on it.
Great.
So it was really positive, and the emails that we're getting, again, very positive, including the suggestion kind of doing similar to the boat parades in the Christmas time, maybe doing another golf cart parade closer to the holidays.
Yeah, and they get a kick out of decorating those golf carts
They do.
too. So that's the cool part. I remember when they used to have the 5K run through the community quite often every year during Memorial Day. The people were so supportive. I mean, you think, when you're running, you're so exhausted, and the people just cheering you on. You're like, man, this makes it all worth it.
It is.
And it sounds like a great event, so we're glad it went off pretty well. Well, thank you for joining us on the program tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow on TV, on the Golden Rain Foundation, and hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday as well.
Sounds great. Thanks,
That's
Paul.
Jeff Parker. He's our Chief Executive Officer for VMS, and he joins us usually Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays with the latest update here in your community, and of course, some of the numbers throughout Orange County. We'll be back right after this.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Welcome back. Today I'm joined by Mike Gaskins, who is the Vice President of the El Toro Water District Board. And he's here to tell me about our water quality, what's happening since COVID-19, and just to give us some updates. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. We are always honored to be able to share it with you and then to our customers and consumers. So.
Great. Well, let's talk about what's going on right now with the water quality. Regarding COVID-19, I know originally there was a fear of, wow, is our water contaminated? So why don't you touch on that, since it's been about almost 3 months now?
Right. Well, Dennis Cafferty, who's our general manager, also put out a public service announcement, and he's got the same message I've got, is there's no evidence of any water transmission of COVID-19. Mm-hmm. So the water that we're supplying to you is safe from COVID-19, and it's safe from all these other things too that we'll be talking about. Mm-hmm. And then if somebody does have COVID-19 and then they go use the facilities, that waste goes into our treatment plant and was used for irrigation throughout Laguna Woods. And there's also no evidence that any of the COVID-19 is present in that recycled water. So you don't have to worry about the fact that the golf course and some of the medians and areas are irrigated by the recycled water. So okay, COVID-19.
That's good to know, because some people they're having their children maybe running through sprinklers and things like that are in the area or on a golf course, but they don't have to worry about catching anything for that.
No.
Okay, great. Good to know. That is great to know. Let's talk about the water quality report, as it stands today.
Sure. And most people got this in the mail within the last 3 weeks, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's a whole bunch of information, and if you read it, the intent today is to kind of go through it a little bit and let you know what happens with this. This is an annual report that has to be done by law by every water purveyor. So this is what we've got, and there are tables in there that are going to be displayed on the screen that you're not going to be able to read. So I figure the raw numbers are something that you can look at yourself if you're interested. So,
well, right. And as a whole, I mean, all of these numbers, what does it really mean for us? I mean, what are some of the things that you guys are looking for?
Well, we're looking for assurance that we haven't got bad things in the water. The water that comes into us comes from two general areas, one, Northern California, and the other, the Colorado River. And the water that comes from the Colorado River has a little piece of the Grand Canyon in it. And so it has a high mineral content, hard water. The water that comes from Northern California flows through the California Delta, and there's a lot of agriculture in there. So it's possible that it's going to have organic chemicals and pesticides. And so when it comes out to your tap, it's a blend of the two sources. And that varies at the treatment plant called Dimer or Deemer up in Yorba Linda. It's off the 57 freeway. The water's treated there for the most part. And that's where these numbers come from. And then you'll also notice there's a table from what's called the Baker treatment plant, which is fairly recent. We participate in it with Irvine Ranch Water District, Santa Margarita, and a couple others. And it's up on Lake Forest, up near the new City Hall. And water is purchased, raw water that is not filtered by Metropolitan, but water that's raw is brought there and then treated at that point, and it's treated to a very high standard as well. So you've got data for the water stream.
Now, also the Metropolitan Water District supply. So what did you want to say about that in regards to treating?
Well, the Metropolitan is a large organization, and they provide most of the water to Southern California, the exception being LA Water and Power, which gets Owens Valley water. And so there's an awful lot of work that's done just to make sure that the water gets here and it's reliable. One of our focuses has been in the last couple of years is storage. How long, if something were to happen with the stream of water coming from Metropolitan, how long could we hold out and still provide water to the customers? And right now, we think we're pretty solid at 60 days. We would like to get more than that.
Okay.
So I don't know what else I wanted to say about Metropolitan per se. If you look at all the numbers on here, all the test results, there is, for each of these chemicals, there's a maximum contaminant level set by the Environmental Protection Agency. And if you exceed that, that's a violation, and it has to be reported to the customers. It would show up in the newspaper, et cetera. And then if you look at the numbers that we're actually getting compared to that, there's a range of results. And you'll notice that we're under that MCL, the maximum contaminant level for all these things. Metropolitan tests all the water. And so this is what we're provided. But when the water gets into our system, we're still responsible for it. And there are other tests that aren't in this, which is the presence of bacteria, particularly coliform and fecal coliform bacteria. Their water at the plant, the filtration plant, is disinfected at Dimer by ozone, but there's no protection after it leaves the plant. So chlorine is added as to provide a residual protection as the water moves through the system. At the Baker plant, the sterilization, sanitation is done by shortwave ultraviolet light. And again, chlorination happens. So we monitor, we take samples every week at, I want to say 70 sites, but it might be 40. My numbers are, but on a weekly basis, they're sampled and tested by our laboratory that's at our treatment plant by the RV storage yard. And the chlorine is taken, the fluoride is measured. Fluoride is added to the water by Metropolitan. It's very important for strong teeth, especially in kids and developing bones. It's an important chemical. Without it, there'd be dentists would do a lot more work. And then we also do nitrite, which is a product and breakdown of organics that may or may not be in the water and the pipes. And there are potential health problems. That's why we monitor them continuously. Chlorination byproducts. And so all this is done on a weekly basis. And again, El Toro has never had a violation. Dennis Cafferty did tell me that there was one violation because somebody forgot to take a sample.
Oh, well, it sounds like you guys are doing a really thorough job, and we certainly appreciate that you guys are monitoring our water and coming out and telling us that it's okay to drink it, because, we don't want to be too scared. So we appreciate
I don't want you drinking the recycled water. It's
don't do that.
Probably okay, but I wouldn't drink it.
I wouldn't drink it either. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you taking the time.
Okay. And thank you so much for having me.
And we'll be right back after this.
Well, before we let you go, we want to be sure and mention that we have our Monday movie today. That's going to be at 2 o'clock, and today's movie is Aquila and the Bee. It stars Angela Bassett, and that runs about 112 minutes, and that's going to be at 2 o'clock with subtitles, and then again at 6 o'clock this evening. Aquila, an 11-year-old girl living in South Los Angeles, discovers she has a talent for spelling, which she hopes will take her to the National Spelling Bee competition. A terrific film. If you've seen it back, I think we showed it a couple years ago. Wonderful film, Aquila and the Bee. That'll be at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and of course at 6 o'clock this evening. Well, we do thank you for joining us today for this last half hour on this day, and we hope you have a great day right here in Laguna Woods Village.
Hearing aids require a lot of attention. Don't underestimate the problems earwax can cause. Come in and see inside your own ear canals to find out how much blockage you have. Debris like earwax can cause up to 45% reduction in amplification. Your hearing aids may be able to be significantly improved to help you hear conversations clearly with a simple office visit. Every day, patients say, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so much better." Stop in or call us today for a complimentary cleaning and ear inspection. Tell them Stuart sent you.